Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Newshour, India's voice to the world. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj. Coming up in the next hour, Prime Minister Narendra Modi departs for Johannesburg to attend G20 Leaders Summit, also to participate in India-Brazil-South Africa Leaders Meet. India and Israel to begin FTA negotiations. In terms of reference, Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal says dates would be soon finalized. Ukraine President Zelenskyy to discuss US proposed Russia-Ukraine peace plan with Donald Trump soon. India's food grain output breaks all previous highs, adding new chapters of success to country's agriculture sector. And in sports, Nikhat Zareen and Jasmine Lamboria led India's gold rush as the country's pugilists finished with 20 medals, including 9 gold at the World Boxing Cup finals on the outskirts of New Delhi. Prime Minister Narendra Modi en route to Johannesburg, South Africa to attend the 20th G20 Leaders Summit being hosted by Republic of South Africa. This will be the 4th consecutive G20 summit held in the Global South. Before departure, Prime Minister Modi issued a statement. I'm visiting the Republic of South Africa from 21 to 23rd of November 2025 at the invitation of His Excellency Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa to attend the 20th G20 Leaders Summit being held in Johannesburg under South Africa's presidency. This will be a particularly special summit given that it would be the first G20 summit being held in Africa. During India's presidency of the G20 in 2023, the African Union had become a member of the G20. The summit will be an opportunity to discuss key global issues. The theme of this year's G20 has been solidarity, equality and sustainability, by which South Africa has carried forward the outcomes from the previous summits held in New Delhi, India and Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. I will present India's perspective at the summit in line with our vision of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam and one earth, one family and one future. I look forward to my interactions with leaders of partner countries and participation in the 6th IPSA summit scheduled on the sidelines of the summit. During the visit, I also look forward to my interaction with the Indian diaspora in South Africa, which is one of the largest outside India. All right, my colleague Arun Sharma joins me live on this from New Delhi. Hi Arun, a very good morning to you. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has emplaned for South Africa to attend G20 summit. Arun, what can we expect this time?
Well, a lot to expect as far as the G20 summit is concerned. Point number one, that this is the 4th consecutive time that the G20 is being hosted by a global South country.
Right.
So we can expect the continuation of various visions that were decided in the earlier G20 summit. Now, also the second interesting aspect is that it is during the India's presidency of G20 2023,
right,
when African Union was made part of the G20. And after that, for the first time, South Africa is hosting the G20 summit. So this also highlights that the issues, the agenda of the Global South will be highly placed on the table as far as this multilateral platform is concerned. As the theme says, that solidarity, equality and sustainability are the key aspect, or this is the broader theme of the G20 summit.
Right.
The focus will be on the inclusive aspect, the financial aspect. There are 3 sessions as far as this G20 summit is concerned, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be speaking in all these 3 sessions. Number one is related to the economic angle and the financing aspect or the infrastructure aspect. Second is about the climate change or the climate action that the global economies need to take. And last but not the least, which is about the minerals, the critical minerals, the AI, the artificial intelligence as well. Now, we know this fact, Siddharth, that the G20 summit or the G20, the outcome is primarily non-binding in nature. That is, it is not mandatory to implement all the outcomes, but it depends upon the political will of the respective countries as to how to take forward the outcome of the G20. And we have seen that how, in last couple of G20 summits, the focus is, specifically on the global south, the voice of the global south, how can they reach on this multilateral platform? And of course, an inclusive approach can be, adopted. That is what the focus is likely to be as far as this G20 summit is concerned.
Definitely. Arun, critical minerals, climate change, AI, you've just mentioned these three things. Really important for the global world, especially for the global south. You've just mentioned global south, Arun. It's a very crucial summit, especially for the countries of global south. Arun, can you tell us what are the issues likely to be taken up?
So this G20 summit is primarily will be having three important sessions. Number one is related to financing aspect. Now we know this fact that various countries as of now are dealing under immense debt pressure.
You're right.
The debt to GDP ratio of various countries, specifically the African countries, is more than 100%. 125% is the debt to GDP ratio. 137% debt to GDP ratio of various African countries. So the focus will be on how to reduce this debt. Second important aspect in the financing aspect will be that no matter the global growth is reeling under pressure. So how can this growth be more inclusive in nature? That means how can more jobs be created?
Right.
How can local jobs can be created in various global south countries? And how can primarily the benefit of industrialization can reach to the people of various countries? So the idea is more inclusive in nature. Second important aspect is about the climate action. Now, we know this fact that, in fact, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has undertaken various, ambitious targets like India will be becoming carbon neutral by 2070,
right.
or be it, initiatives like LIFE. Or be it small initiatives like Ek Ped Maa Ke Naam, that means one tree for your mother.
You're right.
So all these are being adopted by various world leaders as well. So yes, what more can be done as far as climate action is concerned? On that aspect, the G20 summit, the leaders of the powerful grouping will of course be doing discussions, and outcome can be expected as to what can be done as far as climate change and climate action is concerned, because the world today is divided. Because on the climate actions, the developed economy have their different view as far as climate change is concerned. The developing nations and the underdeveloped nations have their different view. Last but not the least, that it is about the artificial intelligence and critical minerals. We have seen that supply chains were disrupted and the critical minerals could not reach to various countries, and therefore we have seen various sectors like automobiles, various sectors related to electronic manufacturing were massively disrupted. And today we can't imagine a world without the semiconductors or the critical minerals. So how can the supply chains be can be intact and they can be smoothen supply chain as far as the critical minerals are concerned? The focus will be on that aspect. Last but not the least, how can there be a collaborative efforts or approach as far as artificial intelligence is concerned? Because AI does not see any border, and now today is a time when deep fake is taking over. Cyber security is becoming a major concern.
Right.
In that context, there will be a global approach or a collaborative approach as far as AI is concerned. And Prime Minister Modi will be speaking on these three important sessions. So it is, be very much important, because Global South will again be on the center stage when the G20 summit is taking over in Johannesburg.
Definitely, Arun. As far as the issues of Global South is concerned, the country's job creation is one. You've just told us climate action is another, and of course, artificial intelligence. Arun, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will also attend the India, Brazil, South Africa leaders meeting. Any updates on that? What can be taken up?
Yes, of course. So we know this fact that IFFI summit, or the IFFI is a grouping of three developing economies. You can say like India, Brazil, South Africa. Now we have seen this point that these are the developing nations. So the approach is very much like-minded in nature. Second important aspect, at a time when tariff wars are intensifying and the developing nations are, facing the brunt of these kind of tariff wars. So, how can the economies be made resilient in nature? How can, the policies or the global policies can be made which can be beneficial to these powerful grouping like IPSA, because IPSA is a important grouping or powerful grouping as far as developing nations are concerned, which consists of India, Brazil, and South Africa. Also, for the fact that minerals are important aspect, how can these three countries can collaborate as far as the minerals are concerned, energy transitions are concerned, or the energy is concerned. So, in that context, of course, these countries will be discussing on various aspects, and this three nation will also be focusing upon the fact that at a time when world is facing a massive global slowdown, various economies are under the pressure of massive debt. How can these countries can come forward and can ensure or can work under a vision that as India is leading by example as well, Siddharth, that India is a bright spot, and various global rating agencies have upgraded the rating of India as well. So this showcases that India is leading by example as far as the economic aspect is concerned. So in that context, the IPSA summit is going to be very much important as far as the inclusive approach is concerned, AI or minerals are concerned, and of course the job creation or the labor aspect is concerned.
All right, thanks for those updates, Arun. We leave it there. And addressing the media on Prime Minister's visit, Secretary AR at Ministry of External Affairs, Sudhakar Dalela, said that this will be Prime Minister's fourth official visit to South Africa. He also highlighted that the summit, which is the first G20 summit to take place on African soil, will focus on the global south.
Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi will be visiting Johannesburg, South Africa from 21st to 23rd of November to attend the G20 Leaders Summit at the invitation of President of South Africa. This will be Prime Minister's fourth official visit to South Africa, following his bilateral visit in 2016 and later for the two BRICS summits in 2018 and 2023. This is the first G20 summit that will be happening on African soil, and in that context will bring the spotlight on the development issues of Africa as also of the global south.
Calling the G20 summit a premium forum for international economic cooperation, Sudhakar Dalela also highlighted that G20 nations represent over 85% of global GDP.
The G20 has emerged as a premium forum for international economic cooperation, as well as for discussing matters of global significance. The G20 provides an excellent opportunity for the leaders of these large economies and emerging economies, representing over 85% of global GDP and around 3/4 of the world population, to come together and discuss important issues impacting the world. The priorities identified by South Africa are aligned with those of India's G20 presidency and that of Brazil, ensuring continuity in the G20 discussions from the perspective of matters that are important to Global South. PM will be participating in the IPSA India, Brazil, South Africa leaders meeting, as well as holding bilateral meeting with several leaders who will be present in Johannesburg.
In a landmark development, India and Israel formally initiated negotiations for a comprehensive free trade agreement on Thursday by signing the terms of reference. Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal announced during his visit. Describing the move as historic, Minister Goyal stated that dates for the inaugural round of talks would be finalized shortly, aiming to boost bilateral trade from the current $20 billion to $40 billion with 5 years. In fact, within 5 years. The agreement targets enhanced market access in sectors including information technology, agriculture, pharmaceuticals and defense, building on a preferential trade pact since 2013. Israeli Economy Minister Nir Barkat hailed the step as a catalyst for innovation-driven growth, while Indian officials emphasized mutual benefits for small and medium enterprise. Negotiations that were paused briefly due to geopolitical tensions now prioritize a swift conclusion to foster resilient supply chains. During his visit to Israel, Union Minister Piyush Goyal addressed a gathering at the gala dinner with Israeli companies' CEOs. The minister expressed solidarity with Israel and highlighted the shared struggle both countries faced against terrorism.
The last 2 years have been difficult times for our brothers and sisters of Israel, but you have shown tremendous resilience in the face of adversity. We in India also have suffered terrorism for several decades now. We had blasts in New Delhi, right in the heart of the capital. And I think both of us, the people of Israel, the people of India, have to work together to eliminate this problem of terrorism. We have to work together to ensure peace and security in both our countries.
Secretary at the Ministry of External Affairs, Government of India, Ambassador C.B. George had a productive meeting with Secretary General of the European External Action Service, Belen Martinez Carbonell, at the EU headquarters in Brussels. Both leaders discussed the strong momentum in India-EU strategic partnership. Ambassador briefed her on the extensive consultations with EEAS on foreign policy and security and the strategic partnership review. Both the leaders reviewed work on the joint India-EU comprehensive strategic agenda in the run-up to the next India-EU summit. And still to come on DD India Newshour. US judge halts Trump's National Guard deployment in Washington, D.C. Former Peruvian President Martin Vizcarra pleads not guilty in corruption trial. Violence continues for a second day in Nepal's Bazaar district.
India did not agree that Hindus and Muslims could not live together. This was a birth of a country or two countries, but it was a birth that was also an abortion, because you were literally killing this country that was being born at that point. Every time a Muslim came to prominence in India, President of India, Chief Justice of India, cricket captains, whatever, it was a standing rebuke of the very Pakistani idea. If a Muslim could achieve all this in India, then why did Pakistan need to be created?
You're watching DD India Newshour. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj. In a latest update on Russia-Ukraine conflict, the Kremlin said on Thursday that Russian President Vladimir Putin had visited the command post of the Russian forces West grouping, where he had met the chief of Russia's general staff, Valery Gerasimov, and top military brass. The Russian army claimed to have again captured the Ukrainian city of Kupiansk, a key Kiev bastion in the eastern Kharkiv region, where Russia's soldiers have been steadily advancing. While Ukraine's general staff denied claims made by the chief of the general staff of the Russian army, Valery Gerasimov, said that Russian forces have captured the city of Kupiansk. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy said he had discussed with the visiting Secretary of the US Army on Thursday ways to work with Washington on a plan to end the conflict with Russia. After meeting a delegation that included Daniel Driscoll, Secretary of the US Army in Kiev, Zelenskyy in a social media post said, "Our teams will work on the points of the plan to end the conflict." Zelenskyy's office said he had received a draft of the US-backed plan and he expects to discuss it with US President Donald Trump in coming days. Following the Ukraine-US officials meet, the White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt on Thursday said that the administration is having good conversations with both parties on how to end the conflict.
So they have been engaged with both sides, and these talks are continuing. As always, I'm not going to litigate the details of this plan as it's ongoing and it's in flux, but the president supports this plan. It's a good plan for both Russia and Ukraine, and we believe that it should be acceptable to both sides, and we're working very hard to get it done.
US President Donald Trump on Thursday removed his 40% tariffs on Brazilian food products, including beef, coffee, cocoa and fruits, that were imposed in July, dropping steep tariffs he imposed this summer. In an executive order released by the White House, the order will affect Brazilian imports to the US on or after November 13 and may require a refund of the duties collected on those goods, while the tariffs were still being charged. The order effectively removes the 40% duty that was still on those goods after Trump dropped Brazil's 10% reciprocal duty on a long list of food products as part of a separate action last week. The move follows a similar order by the administration last Friday to remove tariffs on several agricultural products as the White House makes a U-turn on some tariffs that have increased the cost of food in the United States. A federal judge appointed by former US President Joe Biden ruled on Thursday that US President Donald Trump must immediately terminate the months-long National Guard deployment in Washington, D.C., delivering a sharp legal blow to his plan to send troops into major cities despite local opposition. United States District Judge Gia Cobb ruled that deploying roughly 1,000 out-of-state Guard members for law enforcement duties violated laws prohibiting military involvement in domestic policing and usurped Mayor Muriel Bowser's authority as well. She stayed the order until December 11th to allow an appeal. The decision aligns with successful challenges by Democratic leaders in Los Angeles, Chicago and Portland, though an appeals court has temporarily preserved the Los Angeles deployment. A US appeals court suspended the release of hundreds of people on bail after they had been arrested by immigration authorities in the Midwestern state of Illinois as part of President Donald Trump's crackdown. In September, the Trump administration began an operation by Immigration and Customs Enforcement in Illinois, dubbed Midway Blitz, targeting suspected undocumented immigrants, particularly in its major city, Chicago, a stronghold for Democrats. However, the appeals court, after a filing by the Trump administration, challenged the ruling, suspended the release of the detainees until it decides on the matter, setting a hearing for December 2nd. Since returning to the White House in January, Trump has made cracking down on illegal immigration a top priority, often referring to it as an invasion. The EU is prepared to take direct stakes in Australian critical minerals projects and will soon announce a list of projects it will support. The European Union wants access to critical minerals like lithium and rare earths from resource-rich Australia, which are vital to industries spanning artificial intelligence to defense. Vulnerabilities in the supply chain have come into sharp focus this year, with dominant producer China restricting exports in a tit-for-tat trade standoff with the United States. A previous attempt to reach a trade deal failed in 2023, with Canberra wanting more ability to sell farm goods in Europe. Former Peruvian President Martin Vizcarra pleaded not guilty on Thursday to corruption charges stemming from his time as governor of the southern Moquegua region. Vizcarra, who served as Peru's president from 2018 to 2020, faces up to 15 years in prison on allegations that he received approximately $710,000 in bribes from construction companies between 2014 and 2016. Prosecutors allege the payments were made in exchange for awarding contracts for projects. In fact, during his tenure as regional governor from 2011 to 2014, Vizcarra told the court during closing arguments that he has confidence in the judges and pledged to attend all remaining hearings and listen to the verdict when the tribunal issues its decision. The court will deliver its final ruling on November 26. Demonstrators took to the streets of Mexico City on Thursday to protest insecurity, rising violence and corruption. Protesters marched from the Angel of Independence monument through several streets toward the Zocalo Square. They waved Mexican flags, voiced frustration over worsening security conditions and government corruption. However, they were unable to access the square due to celebrations marking the anniversary of the Revolution Day. The demonstration drew citizens demanding justice for specific cases of violence, including the assassination of Uruapan Mayor Carlos Manzo. In Nepal's Bara district, violence continued for a second day on Thursday after Wednesday's clash at Samara airport between protesting youths and cadres of Communist Party of Nepal Unified Marxist-Leninist welcoming leader Mahesh Basnet. Police arrested 38-year-old local Arvind Shah and 2 UML ward chairpersons following complaints of assault on the protesting youths. Demonstrators blocked the Birgunj Pathalaya highway all day Thursday, refusing talks until arrests were made. When clashes erupted with police, tear gas and warning shots were fired, injuring 6 officers and 4 protesters. A curfew was imposed until 8 Thursday evening. Nepal Sports and Youth Minister Bablu Gupta have gone to Samara for talks and discussions on the Bara incident as the district struggles to restore order. And let's take a look at other stories making news around the world. Mummies from South America, Egypt and France are now on display at Paris's Musée de l'Homme as part of a major exhibition exploring ancient body preservation techniques. Titled Mummies, the showcase offering visitors a rare close look at the centuries-old practices. The exhibit explains how methods evolved over time from ancient evisceration to modern preservation using chemical fluids. The display is open to the public until May 25, 2026. US actor Chadwick Boseman, best known for his role in Black Panther, has been awarded a posthumous star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Boseman, who died in 2020 from colon cancer, continues to be remembered for his powerful performances and cultural impact. His widow, Simone Leward Boseman, accepted the honor on his behalf. Julian's Auctions and Turner Classic Movies have revealed a preview of film and TV memorabilia ahead of their year-end Hollywood Legends sale. Nearly 1,500 pieces from 10 decades of pop culture will go under the hammer, including screen-worn costumes, props, artwork, and rare production items. The December event will highlight iconic in fact treasures from Hollywood's golden age to today. A rare self-portrait by iconic Mexican artist Frida Kahlo has sold for $54.66 million in New York during a Sotheby's sale, setting a new record for the most expensive painting by a woman. The 1940 work El Sueño, meaning the dream, surpassed the previous record of a painting sold for $44.4 million in 2014 as part of its autumn marquee sales. And still to come on DD Indian Newshour. Preparations in full swing ahead of flag hoisting ceremony in Ayodhya. Stay with us to know more on this. The 56th edition of IFFI commences in Goa with its first ever cultural parade. Indian Navy to host Swavalamban 2025 Innovation Seminar in the national capital.
Welcome to Jaipur.
Open your mind to a whole new world. Explore mystic wonders of nature in the forests.
तो मुझे देख के आपको लग रहा है कि मुझे इजी वाला देना चाहिए।
Uncover secrets hidden deep inside the earth.
And I'd always heard of this ancient Shiv Mandir which is inside a cave.
Experience the rich cultural legacy.
मुझे बताइए इस डांस फॉर्म के बारे में, इस आर्ट फॉर्म के बारे में।
Experience the blend of vibrant warmth and stunning creations.
It fits perfectly.
Thank you.
Jharkhand. Let it become a part of you. Postcards from Jharkhand on National Geographic.
You're watching DD India Newshour. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj and a quick recap of the headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi en route to Johannesburg to attend G20 Leaders Summit, also to participate in India-Brazil-South Africa Leaders Meet. India and Israel to begin FTA negotiations in terms of reference. Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal says dates would be soon finalized. Ukraine President Zelenskyy to discuss US proposed Russia-Ukraine peace plan with Donald Trump soon. India's food grain output breaks all previous highs, adding new chapters of success to country's agriculture sector. And in sports, Nikat Zareen and Jasmine Lamporia led India's gold rush as the country's pugilists finished with 20 medals, including 9 gold at the World Boxing Cup finals on the outskirts of New Delhi. As Prime Minister Narendra Modi is en route to Johannesburg, Ministry of External Affairs has just shared a video highlighting Prime Minister's previous engagements at the G20 summit. Let's watch it. Ahead of the flag hoisting ceremony at the Ram Temple in Uttar Pradesh's Ayodhya on November 25, elaborate security and logistical arrangements have been put in place at the city airport. The Maharishi Valmiki International Airport's Phase 1 runway can handle only about 1 million passengers annually, causing flight backlogs. More than 100 additional CISF personnel will be deployed at the Ayodhya airport for heightened security. Ayodhya is now not just the heart of India's spirituality, it is slowly transforming into an economic and tourism powerhouse. IFFI 2025 Day 2 is all set to witness a lot of action, starting from Creative Minds of Tomorrow, a 48-hour unique challenge that invites all the young minds to create content, to the ongoing Waves Film Bazaar, a marketplace that offers various opportunities. IFFI is all set to roll the red carpet as well to many of the films and their cast along with the crew members. Apart from that, IFFI Star will also start from today onwards here in Goa. The 56th edition of IFFI kicked off on Thursday with its first ever cultural parade that brought together the world of cinema under one roof. Up next is an exclusive report from Goa on IFFI's opening day by DD India's Deepika Mehta.
The 56th International Film Festival of India opened with an immersive grand parade. With its maiden parade opening, IFFI welcomed its audience with a moving celebration revealed through rhythm, color, pride and breathtaking imagination. From Entertainment Society of Goa office to Kala Academy, this one-of-its-kind parade transformed the streets of Goa into a living canvas of India's cinematic and cultural brilliance.
I welcome one and all those who have come specially for the International Film Festival 2025. Why the IFFI flourished here for more than 2 decades? The answer is simple. The Goa is ready to offer the world-class infrastructure.
Under the visionary leader of our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, to speak about this cinema and media entertainment sector, our Honorable Prime Minister mentioned that, I mentioned this quote, this is the time of dawn of orange economy in India, content, creativity and culture, the 3 pillars of orange economy.
The parade was led by the magnificent state tableaus of Andhra Pradesh, Haryana and Goa, each presenting a vivid portrait of identity and imagination. The parade opened with breathtaking energy of Central Bureau of Communications Bharat Ek Sur presentation. Waves OTT stole the show with its magnificent display. Adding charm, nostalgia and delight were India's beloved animation favourites Chhota Bheem and Chutki and Motu Patlu and Bittu Bahane Baaz. Moving on, the day also witnessed the felicitation of the cast of the opening film, The Blue Trail by Gabriel Mascaro.
No, I'm so happy to be able to share my movie with the Indian audience. It's a very special festival. I've been here 5 years ago, and I'm so happy to be back and see the festival alive and being able to be connected to the Indian industry, cinema industry is so special. I'm so happy to be here.
The 10-day extravaganza has officially kick-started now, where global celebrities, filmmakers and emerging talent will not only walk the red carpet but will witness the convergence of several film industries from around the globe under one roof.
And with such colourful displays, IFFI 2025 kick-started with a grand opening parade this time, showcasing rich cultural heritage of the film industry of not only the world but the entire globe, bringing together all under the single roof. With camera person Senthil, this is Deepika reporting for DD India.
The opening ceremony of IFFI Waves Film Bazaar was held with great fanfare on Thursday. The event was attended by many dignitaries including MOS for the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, Dr. L. Murugan, Secretary Sanjay Jaju, filmmaker Shekhar Kapoor, Anupam Kher, guest of honor from the Republic of Korea, Ms. Jaewon Kim and many others. Waves Film Bazaar is India's premier film market, offering co-production opportunities and networking. Addressing the occasion, MOS Dr. Murugan quoted PM Modi's vision regarding Waves Film Bazaar, saying this year's Bazaar will have many engaging activities while serving as a bridge between India and the world.
In this 19th edition of Waves Film Bazaar brings a significant expand of many dynamic marketplaces, strengthening its global footprint this year with features such as here the co-production market, screen lighting lab, work in progress lab, viewing room, knowledge series. So various activities are going to take place from today onwards up to 24th of this month, this Waves Bazaar.
Speaking at the inaugural event, Secretary Sanjay Jaju said Waves Bazaar has donned a new look this year based on the vision of PM Modi, who envisioned craft to commerce and passion to paisa.
IFFI has for decades been India's flagship celebration of cinema, bringing together world cinema and Indian cinema on one platform and showcasing the best of storytelling from across the globe. Friends, Film Bazaar has always been an integral part of IFFI. But if you have noticed, we have come here today in a new avatar called as the Waves Film Bazaar. While IFFI Bazaar has been happening for close to 2 decades now, as all of you are aware, our Honorable Prime Minister gave us the vision to translate craft into commerce, to convert passion into paisa. And that's where we are, at the Bazaar.
India's President Draupadi Murmu is on a visit to Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. On Friday morning, she offered prayers at Lord Venkateshwara Swami Temple in Tirumala. Later in the day, the President will inaugurate the Bharatiya Kala Mahotsav 2025 at Rashtrapati Nilayam, Bolaram, Secunderabad. The second edition of the Bharatiya Kala Mahotsav will showcase the rich cultural, culinary and artistic traditions of Gujarat, Maharashtra, Rajasthan, Goa, Dadra and Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu. Let's take a look at other stories making news. The Indian Navy will host the 4th edition of the Naval Innovation and Indigenization Organization Seminar, Swavlamban 2025 on 25th and 26th November at the Manekshaw Center in New Delhi. This year's theme, Strength and Power Through Innovation and Indigenization, underscores the Navy's push for collaborative, advanced and homegrown solutions to meet operational challenges.
This is India's innovation at sea.
India Post has inaugurated a revamped Delhi University Post Office, introducing a modern, student-focused space on campus. According to the Ministry of Communications, the upgraded facility aims to reshape post offices as vibrant, technology-enabled hubs designed to connect with young citizens. As a part of National Integration Tour, 22 school and college students from tribal communities in Manipur met Lieutenant General Pushpendra Singh, Vice Chief of Army Staff. He praised their achievements in various fields and encouraged them to continue striving for excellence with a strong sense of nation first. The National Integration Tour aims to broaden the outlook of students from remote regions by helping them understand India's progress, culture and unity in diversity. And still to come on the India Newshour. Asian shares rally as Nvidia's earnings in fact lift global market mood. Italy to face Northern Ireland in the European playoffs in their bid to qualify for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. North Korea marks Child Health Day with children's performance.
Welcome to DD India, where a billion voices unite, connecting viewers to the stories that matter. India is not just another news channel. It's the international channel that puts the spotlight on the global south, bringing you stories from the heart of emerging economies, dynamic cultures, and transformative voices. As the international news channel of India's public broadcaster Prasar Bharati, DD India delivers high-quality content from every corner of the globe, focusing on the stories that shape our future. We don't just report news. We connect you to India's voice in the global narrative, from current affairs to culture, from economic growth to sustainable development, and the ever-evolving world order. DD India gives you a comprehensive view of the world around us. Stay connected, stay informed, and embrace the stories that shape our lives. DD India, India's voice.
You're watching DD India Newshour. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj, and India has achieved record total food production for the year 2024-25 compared to the previous year. India's Union Minister of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, Shivraj Singh Chauhan, released the final estimates of crop production for 2024-25 in New Delhi. He expressed gratitude to the nation's farmers for achieving this record high output. He also welcomed the encouraging rise in the production of pulses and oilseeds. The Union Minister said India is witnessing the highest increase in food grain production in the last 10 years. From 251.54 million tons in 2015-16, production has risen by 106 million tons to reach 357.73 million tons. This reflects the rapid growth in the agriculture sector under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, he added. Here's a detailed report.
Success to India's agriculture sector. Final estimates of crop production for 2024-25 states nearly 8% record growth in total food grain output. Food grain production rises to 357.73 million tons in 2024-25. Union Agriculture Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan expresses gratitude to farmers for achieving record production. Historic growth of over 106 million tons in total food grain. Oilseed output touches nearly 43 million tons, an increase of more than 8%. Record food grain output of 357.73 million tons last year. Wheat production reached a record level of 1,179.45 lakh tons, which is 46.53 lakh tons higher. Rice production reached a record level of 1,501.84 lakh tons, which is 123.59 lakh tons higher.
From policy to production, India's defense sector is being retooled for exports, blending strategic ambition with industrial competitiveness. Nation has recorded its highest ever defense production of Rs 1.54 lakh crore in 2024-25 with the support of policies and self-reliance reforms that has been made in the last decade.
India's defense sector is undergoing a powerful transformation driven by strategic ambition and industrial self-reliance. India recorded its highest ever defense production of 1.54 lakh crore rupees in 2024-25, fueled by robust domestic policies. Indigenous defense production surged 174% in FY 2023-24 from 2014-2015. The nation is now moving steadily toward its 1.75 lakh crore production target for the current fiscal. A network of 16,000 MSMEs has emerged as the backbone of this growth, strengthening India's defense capabilities from the ground up. This is backed by a decade of sustained government investment. India's defense budget has nearly tripled, from 2.53 lakh crore rupees in 2013-14 to 6.81 lakh crore rupees in 2025-26, enabling modernization, innovation, and faster procurement. The impact is global. India's defense exports have grown 23-fold in the last decade, reaching over 100 countries, including the US, France, and Armenia. By 2029, India aims to expand defence production to 3 lakh crore rupees and defence exports to 50,000 crore rupees. This rise is fueled by landmark reforms taken by government since 2014. The Defence Acquisition Procedure 2020 and Defence Procurement Manual 2025 form the backbone of a modern, efficient procurement ecosystem. Defence industrial corridors are emerging as new hubs of manufacturing excellence. India emerged as one of the most attractive destinations for defence investment with simplified licensing. 788 industrial licenses were issued to 462 companies. A domestic chip-making capability directly supports a nation's defence export potential. India's chip-making capabilities are also set to be at par with other major producers by 2032. IT Minister Ashwini Vaishnav said that 3 of India's chip facilities will start commercial production early next year.
Today we already have an ecosystem developing just in 3.5 years, where production of chips is starting. Design of some of the most complex chips is now happening in India, all the way up to 2 nanometers. By 2031, 2032, in that time frame will be equivalent to what many of these countries are at today, and then it will be a race which will be a very fair and a level playing field. Similar things will happen in other technologies also.
Together, these efforts are shaping a resilient, technology-driven defence ecosystem that not only strengthens national security, but also positions India as a trusted global partner in defence manufacturing and innovation. Tripti Tripaঠি's report, DD India.
US stock market fell on Thursday even after Nvidia reported strong earnings. Nvidia's share rose at first but ended the day down more than 3%. The Nasdaq dropped over 2% and the S&P 500 fell 1.6%. Investors are worried that tech stocks, especially AI companies, are too expensive and may not make as much money as expected. Investors are also grappled with the delayed release of September payrolls data, which reinforced the belief that a Federal Reserve rate cut in December is less likely. European investors are cautious about US tech stocks. Many are worried that a few large companies dominate the market. Some investors are focusing more on European shares to reduce risk. Asian shares fell on Friday. Japan's Nikkei dropped 2% and South Korea's Kospi fell nearly 4%. Yen stayed weak against the dollar, hitting 157.5. Japan's core consumer prices rose 3% in October, supporting expectations of a near-term rate hike. You're watching DD India Newshour. Time now for sport. And Nikhat Zareen and Jasmine Lamboria led India's gold rush as the country's pugilists finished with 20 medals, including 9 gold, 6 silver and 5 bronze at the World Boxing Cup finals on the outskirts of New Delhi. Reigning women's 48kg world champion Meenakshi Huda registered the first goal for India after beating Uzbekistan's Fazilova Farzona in Greater Noida, while Zareen and Lamboria set the tone for the evening session. Italy will face Northern Ireland in the European playoffs in their bid to qualify for the 2026 FIFA World Cup, while Sweden meet Ukraine, as 16 teams will compete for the 4 remaining European slots for the global tournament. 4 times world champions, Italy again failed to secure direct qualification after finishing second in their group, as they seek to qualify for the first time since the 2014 edition. North Korea marked Child Health Day with children's performances in Pyongyang. Officials from Ministry of Public Health and members of the Korean Association for Supporting the Children attended an event discussing qualitative development of the children's growth and vaccination. North Korea holds a nationwide Child Health Day twice a year. That's it in this edition of DD India News Hour. News and updates will continue on DD India. You stay tuned.